Welcome once again, ladies and gentlemen, to Let's Play Startropics. I am the Wolf. As you can see, we're up to Chapter 3, which means in our last episode, we took down a big octopus, saved a boy dolphin, and earned their trust forever. And I'm about to dive into Chapter 3, but before I get started, I just want to set up that this music that you're about to hear is some of my favorite in this game, and up to this point I haven't talked much about music in this game because I don't think that it's really been necessarily all that great, you know, especially when you compare music of the NES generation from like Super Mario Bros. 3, Legend of Zelda, Mega Man games even. This music just seems to sort of fade in comparison, overall in the game. But this music that you're about to hear at the start is some of my favorite music, and I'm not even going to read the chapter thing for this one, so you'll have to read it yourself. Sorry. Anyway, let's get started. You have no idea how hard that was for me not to cough during that, because I said that I wouldn't be talking during that, because I wanted to give the music its full thing. As you may have noticed by now, each time that we start off a new level, we start off with only 3 hearts filled. Well, that's why things like that come in handy, where you can go and drink coconut milk and refill your health and things like that, and as you can see, we're about to enter a cave. Now, Chapter 3 happens to be probably one of the longest chapters in Startropics. I think that probably comes down to either 3, 6, or 7 for the lengthiest chapters in this game. I happen to think probably 3 to be the longest, but you know, I'm not 100% sure on that. I don't know gameplay-wise either, you know, it might depend on what all goes on, how many times we die, which hopefully is never, as usually I tend not to, I tend not to get a game over, maybe die even, until Chapter 7, really, and that's because Chapter 7 is particularly hard with some of the stuff in it, but, you know, don't get me wrong, these chapters are, beforehand are difficult as well, especially when you compare how many hearts you have now to later on. I mean, like, if you have a tendency to die early on, it's because lack of hearts and whatnot, but also, you know, it's difficult for that time period, and, or for that period in the game. And you will be seeing me struggle some in Chapter 3 later on, probably, but for now, I think I should be fine for now, but Chapter 3 is definitely one of my favorites in this game, and this is what made the game for me. This is what I think of, in the end, when I think of Startropics. I think of level 3, and you'll be, some of the other levels that have yet to come, but will be absolutely fantastic when we get there. And okay, as you see right here, we get some skullbirds. Best thing to do is, since it takes them a while to jump over the thing, get on one side of the water thing and just let them come to you, since they'll try to get to the area, jump and follow you, and then they'll just go across and you can hit them and kill them on the way there. Now, as you saw, we went to a dark room there, and there's a light switch. And the way that I showed you is probably the best way to do it, as you can't often time or judge lengths and distances in the dark. So like you might try to come here and jump, or say here and jump instead of here and jump, and it doesn't always work. So I usually go to one end then the other end, and I know to turn that way and jump. So that's the way to get past that room if you ever get stuck at while playing the game, just so you don't jump in the water and die, because jumping in water is instantaneous death in this game. Apparently, Mike never learned how to swim or something. As you see, we get past the cave and come up to this place, which is called Miracola, of all things. I'm not even joking, as the guy just showed us. So, yeah. And you might not get why I'm saying that fully yet. You definitely will. As I said, this game is full of bad puns and whatnot, but it's wonderful. I love it. I love this game to death. It's one of my favorite games for the NES. Now, this person has two things that she does if you answer. If you say coral, she does that, but you can ask her again, like she forgot, and you can say that, and she'll say, "Oh, you're so honest and cute too," which I find to be kind of funny. So, what we just saw from this old woman is that the chief's daughter is sick in bed, and so, of course, we're going to have to go talk to the chief. For obvious reasons, he'll want us to help out with his daughter, so I know that I'm not really spoiling anything ahead of time telling you guys that. That guy told us about the castle of Shikola, and that we better not go there. And, well, there's good reason for that, but eventually you will find us heading there after a bit. This is one of my favorite lines in the game, by the way. I'm just hanging out. He's the chief of Miracola. Like you couldn't tell. I'm Chief Miracola, Mike. I've heard of your courageous adventure. Please, can you help me? 1 year ago, many shooting stars appeared in the sky. Which we saw shooting stars at the beginning of this game during the entrance, but I don't think that was a year ago. I just think that, you know, unless you really have been on the sea for a year, in which case, man, you stink, and where did you get all the food from? But and suddenly, dreadful lightning flashed. Since that night, my dear Bananette has slept, and she will now awake. Bananette, like banana? And banana's another thing that'll keep coming up in this game, besides, like, cola and all that other stuff. Please help my daughter. She is upstairs. Some say a mountain hermit lives who has healing spells. You must find him. Please help my daughter, and I'll fix your wrecked ship. And you see, that's how we'll get our ship fixed, the one that was wrecked in the storm. You see the stairs behind the chief there, but we can't go anywhere in that way to get upstairs, so what you'll have to do is you'll have to come back around. And there's a very easy way to tell where the stairs are, which is nice, instead of you having to constantly guess, is it this part, is it this part? All that you have to do is, you see where the entrance to this old lady's place is? Just walk straight down from it, and you walk into the entrance to go upstairs. And now we come and we talk to all these people upstairs, which will help us. As I said, you have to talk to all the people to progress in this game. That's really one of the things. Well, you don't have to talk to everyone, but pretty much everyone for these first levels. There will be one in level like 6 or so when you get there where it's more free roaming, where you don't have to talk to everyone. But that's level 6. Now we come out of the other side of this town, and you see this little port where our sub will be once we get the ship fixed. Now, as I said, Chapter 3 is pretty long, and I'm going to probably cut it off right before my favorite part of Chapter 3, the video. Though, when I was a kid, this part of this level, was like my absolute favorite in all of Chapter 3. As an adult, it changed. Many things about this game changed as to what was my favorite, but there's just so much that I still love about this. And as you see, we get first probably truly difficult part in this game, where you are battling truly and completely in the dark. You have no idea what's where or how to get about. So you really do want to be careful and fall. And as you saw that Octot there just jump on those things. And that's a way to let you know what you have to do and get where. I'm going to save state here because I don't remember what's down, but here I might want to show you what's down there. I just want to be able to come back to it, you know. Yeah. You see, usually I don't come down here because I don't tend to need the mana symbol in this level, but, you know, I do want to be more complete in this LP than I have in previous LPs. Not that I wasn't pretty thorough in my Mega Man LPs, but I know that there were some times I wanted to show you guys that there are two ways. I probably should have shown you guys like both ways with them, and probably didn't. I probably ended up showing you my favorite way, and never really going back and being like, well, this is what this way is. And so I really want to try and skip that in this LP where you have that going. So I'm going to try to show you the ways, except for the ways that I know lead to death or do not progress you. Those ways I will be skipping, because you saw me skip some of that in like Chapter 1 for obvious reason there. That's the first time that we come across that in this game. I don't remember how often you actually come across that item, but that's a life sign, and it is a gamble. If you pick it up, you can either win lives or lose lives. I'm not joking. You lose up to, I want to say that you can lose up to 2, but I'm not sure I've ever seen that. I believe the only one that I've ever really seen is you lose 1, and you can gain 1 or gain 2. And you saw the little clock thing with the flies back there, and that can either freeze them or slow them down depending on the thing that's going on at the time, which is kind of interesting. And the flies will only ever come across you once you're at a diagonal angle from them, and this is going to be the most intense part of this level, probably. Besides what's coming up, which I'm glad I have a medicine bottle for, because this guy can be quite difficult. He is our bad guy for this level. And when I was young, well, my brother and I were young, I saw him play this first, and then I started playing it. We thought for sure that you had to try and hit him with like the bolas or something, which you saw me miss, but instead, not pick up for this. Instead, what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to take those 2 switches there, and they'll drop him in the water, cooling him off. And trust me, I made that look simple. He's not that simple of a bad guy in the end. He is a tough bad guy, especially when you're first playing. So don't just be like, "Oh, this guy's easy. I can just go in and take him out." No, he can and will kill you very quickly, especially if you try and get cocky or overcompensate for it. If you think that you're so bad, you really start to do a lot less with the paying attention, and that's when you'll get hit more easily. I think the most dangerous part are the flames in the circles, not necessarily the flames that he shoots out, though those can be dangerous. Okay, now, right from here you see the castle, which is She-Cola, by the way. You see this path over here with the cave, and then there's an unseen path which goes up through the mountains here, like so. Well, I'm just going to show you this real quickly. If you try to come this way to the cave, you'll get here, and you'll come to this point, and you see a switch that's already been jumped on, but no matter how many times you try to jump on it again, unless you've gone to She-Cola and done all the quests there that you have to, you can't get across. So, we head back now. And so what we'll do is you can try to go up and whatnot and do everything that you have to there. But, again, probably won't help you out unless you know what you're supposed to be doing, so let's talk to people. And that's why we can't go into She-Cola. It's only for women. Of course, She-Cola sounds kind of like a drink only for women to me. It's like the new She-Cola, made specifically for women. It has the taste that every woman wants, with none of the calories that we deserve. So on and so forth. Just wherever you want to in your head, but that's really what She-Cola sounds like to me. It sounds like someone trying to market a new brand of drink specifically aimed towards women. But, that's just my head. Anyway, you come to the fortune teller. She says she can't help you. She dropped her crystal ball into a pond at Ghost Village. At least I'm assuming that's a female fortune teller. Who knows? There have been male ones or questionable ones in games before. If you've ever played later on in The Legend of Zelda, you know what I'm talking about. So we come through the mountains, come up to here, and we get a big cart. Now obviously, you probably wondered where the Ghost Village is. Well, that's what the path through the mountains is for, and why I'm going there. And you come up here all the way to a graveyard. And this is where I'll be leaving you off before I hit my favorite part of the game, because I'm going to say that this is approximately halfway through Chapter 3. It really depends. Like, I could either cut off before the village or after the village, but considering how impactful the Ghost Village is to me, I just want to stop it and give the Ghost Village its due. So until next time, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Wulv signing off.